Hi everyone, this is Willie from the Viper staking team bringing you another delegation analysis for Epochs 219 and 220. Stake snapshots occur at the beginning of the previous epoch. The stake snapshot for Epoch 219 occurred 5 days ago on September 17th. This means the rewards you earn this epoch will be based on the ADA you staked prior to the snapshot. The total staked ADA increased by 2.1% since the last epoch, up to 49.31%. The total number of active pools increased to 1166, an increase of 15 pools. In order for a pool to expect to make at least one block this epoch, a pool must have at least 2.13 million ADA. This leaves 71% of pools below this threshold. There is an increase in the number of pools falling into the zero slot category. We have 33 more pools in this bin than last epoch. There are two network parameters that affect how many blocks a pool can expect to make. The K parameter, which is currently set to 150, dictates the level at which a pool saturates. Since saturated pools receive reduced rewards, it is never in your best interest to delegate to a saturated pool. K equals 150 means that if all available ADA were delegated across 150 pools, they would all be exactly at the saturation level. Note that this does not mean that the network is only designed to support 150 pools. The D parameter, or the centralization factor, dictates how centralized the network is. That is, what percentage of the 21,600 blocks are created by the Byron-era Genesis pools. These pools do not allow delegators, nor do they collect any rewards for producing blocks. As the D parameter decreases, decentralized stake pools will produce a larger proportion of the total blocks. The D parameter is currently 0.66, which means that stake pools produce 34% of the total blocks. This is about 7,300. On this plot, we omitted the 833 pools that fall into the zero slot bin in order to get a better view of the distribution of the remaining pools. The vast majority of pools fall into the 0 to 10 slot bins, but we're seeing more get out of the zero slot bin over time. Note that just because a pool is less than 2.13 million ADA does not mean that they will not make any blocks this epoch, nor does it mean that pools with 2.13 million staked are guaranteed to make a block. It only means that over time, a pool with 2.13 million staked will average one block per epoch given the current network parameters. As the D parameter decreases, many more pools will make it out of this zero slot bin. This plot shows the relationship between return on stake, or ROS, and the total stake in each pool. ROS is the percentage return you can expect to get on your ADA staked over 1 year. When calculated over a short period of time, the ROS value can vary wildly based on how lucky a pool got during a given epoch. As pools produce more blocks, the variance in this value will average out to the expected value. Notice how some small pools have extremely high ROS values. We're still seeing a misconception that this means small pools have higher return than large pools. This is not true at all. We are merely seeing the wide variance in how lucky a small pool can get over a given epoch. For example, let's consider a pool with 213,000 ADA, 10% of the amount required to expect to make a block. Over time, this pool can expect to make one block every 10 epochs. If we calculate their ROS on an epoch in which the pool made a block, we'd get somewhere around 50% ROS. This is because we're ignoring all the epochs when the ROS would have been 0%. In contrast, we don't see this amount of variation in larger pools because they make so many blocks per epoch that the luck factor is much smaller. It doesn't make much difference whether they make 45 blocks or 50 blocks in a single epoch. In short, evaluating ROS for a small number of produced blocks is largely meaningless. Given identical performance and fees, you can expect to make essentially the same return whether you stake with a large pool or a small pool. After several months of data, we can expect this graph to flatten out around 4.5 to 5% ROS regardless of the pool size. To really drive this point home, we have a new plot this time. This plot shows the lifetime ROS for every pool. Notice how all the pools with more than a few blocks are converging to a flat line. By including all blocks that each pool has made, we're seeing the luck factor disappear and starting to get a sense of the actual annualized ROS you can expect. The small pools on the left still haven't made enough blocks to have their ROS even out, but given time they will converge to the same line. The only noticeable variation in ROS will be due to different fees and pool performance. This is a much smaller effect than we're seeing at the scale of the small pools on the left. Looking ahead to the next epoch, at the time of the Epoch 220 stake snapshot today, the total staked ADA increased varies slightly by 0.65% since the current epoch. This is up to 49.96%. We still haven't quite reached the 50% ADA stake milestone. We saw a sharp decrease in the number of active pools this epoch. We dropped 75 pools down to 1,091. The minimum stake required in order to expect to make a block decreased slightly to 2.04 million ADA. This leaves 69% of pools below this threshold. The number of pools falling into the zero slot bin decreased by 76 pools this epoch. This chart will continue to flatten out as the D parameter continues to decrease in the coming months. For more details on this analysis, as well as the data for all past epochs, see the link to our full post in the notes below. Please let us know in the comments if you have any suggestions for future analysis posts, and make sure to subscribe to get notified when we publish future content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.